M.Boat, an R&B label, operated as a subsidiary under YG Entertainment until it eventually faded into obscurity, likely coinciding with the decline of Korea's R&B landscape. The label represented notable artists such as the late Wi-sung and Big Mama, but they also had Wanted. Wanted was a short-lived R&B group with an exceptionally promising future. Despite the lack of media online, the members were receiving awards and invitations to major events immediately after their debut album. The group had 4 members, 3 of whom had previously performed together in 7 Days, that debuted in 2002 with 2 other members. Kim Jae-suk, who had not been part of 7 Days, entered the entertainment industry in 1997 as a solo artist. In 2002, he joined the group For You as its lead vocalist. He was scouted into Wanted by Gummy, a female artist under YG Entertainment at that time. She met him at her own concert, made him practice a chorus, and brought him inside the company's office to meet the CEO. He asked if he was okay with joining the group, and Jae-suk didn't hesitate as the 3 other bandmates' faces were familiar to him. Because, fun fact, For You and 7 Days were rivals at some point due to their schedules overlapping each other during their rookie days. While preparing to transition into Wanted, Ha Dong-kyun worked tirelessly to develop the husky, deep, and chest-driven vocal style that would define the group's signature sound. In a later interview, he revealed that he practiced so intensely that his throat would sometimes bleed. He also confessed that he eventually grew to resent this voice, feeling that he had sacrificed other opportunities by dedicating so much of his life to perfecting this.
사실은 저는 원필 때 목소리는 제 개인적으로 되게 싫어해요. 근데 그때 너무 소리에만 꽂혀서 신경 쓰다 보니 다른 부분을 굉장히 미숙했었는데.
It's evident in older interviews that he seemed to be a little too hard on himself.
동균이 같은 경우는 일단 좀 자학을 하는 스타일이에요. 그렇죠. 자기가 잘못한 걸 자기가 잘 아니까 이제 자기가 자기를 혼내는 스타일이잖아요. 이러면서 왜 이래? 그래서 그런 게 좀 제가 볼 때는 좀 안 좋더라고요. 그러니까 더 잘할 수 있는데 그런 걸로 인해서 이제 자기가 자기를 너무 낮추니까 그런 게 좀 마음에 안 아프더라고요.
Sungwon seldom appeared on screen as his main focus was to help produce songs for the group. The last member, Seo Jae-ho, was not just talented vocally but was the greatest heartthrob to the fans of Wanted. His transformation from the delicate, prince-like visual to a more masculine, mature presence really stood him out within K-pop fans. Korean idols are always forced to maintain this youthful, clean-shaved look, so his visuals were refreshingly different and arguably still is. So 7 Days lasted for a few months as they didn't achieve much success, which was in stark contrast to the popularity Wanted received. Now these 4 members had signed an exclusive contract with M.Boat and had released their first album named Like the First in 2004. Their title track, Ballad, meaning seizure, a stroke, put them on the radar. The R&B craze at this time was in their favor, and they were being invited to concerts around the country. The big names on their album tracks were other YG artists who had really leveraged the group. Names were Master Wu, Danny from 1TYSM, V-Sung, Gummy, Big Mama. So without doubt, YG appeared deeply invested in this project, offering magnificent support by using his already established artists to ensure this group's success.
거의 전공 녹음이 거의 다 끝났을 무렵에 이제 카드가 한번 날아갔었어요. 재녹음을 하게 됐는데 그 곡 중에 이제 또 휘성 씨랑 같이 부른 곡이 날아간 거예요. 녹음을 하는데 너무 힘들어하시더라고요. 휘성 씨 정말 이렇게 못난 저희들을 위해서 열심히 녹음해 주셔서 고마워. 더 좋은 발전된 그런 회사를 꾸려 나갔으면 좋겠다.
All their songs highlighted how rich their vocals were, and they sounded even better live than they did on their recorded tracks.
떠나가도 돼 그런 말도 하지 말고 보내줘 행복해도 돼.
After coping with the struggle of parting ways with their respective previous groups, it felt as though destiny had brought these four members together to make history. Just as the boys' careers were beginning to blossom and gain significant momentum, an unexpected tragedy struck. On August 11, 2004, only a few months after the release of their debut album, 3 of the 4 members were traveling at around 3 a.m. from a concert in Busan to another scheduled performance in Gyeongpo-dae. The carnival van they were traveling in collided with a 5-ton truck before crashing into a guardrail, leaving the vehicle completely destroyed. 3 of the occupants, including Jae-suk and Dong-kyun, sustained severe injuries and were rushed to the hospital. Jae-suk had lost consciousness due to a severe brain shock and was treated in the ICU. Unfortunately, the driver, who was also their manager, was killed on impact alongside Jae-ho. Jae-ho had sat in the rear seat with, unfortunately, no seatbelt, and on impact was forced out of the vehicle and passed away on scene. It was later investigated that the manager, in a state of exhaustion and drowsiness, had caused the accident. However, in the end, it seemed like no one else was held accountable, which raises a lot of concerns. This couldn't just be blamed on an individual, because it seemed like a deeper systematic failure on the entertainment company's behalf. In a video interview, a recording industry insider explained how, following an album's release, artists can be scheduled for a minimum of 6 to 7 commitments per day, with the first month and a half being the most critical period for promotion. At the time, the group was performing back-to-back concerts, making it highly likely that the manager had been pushed to physical exhaustion and ultimately overestimated his limits. The manager, Shin Hyun-il, was only 23, while Jae-ho was 22. These were really young men met with an untimely death. For Jae-ho, he paid the price of someone's negligence. Wonton had no signs of coming back after the accident. Dong-kyun, I believe, was the only one who made a solo comeback 2 to 3 years after the tragedy. But in 2007, the 3 members and member Lee Jung from the previous group 7 Days returned. They had officially left YG and came back with a full-length album to commemorate Jae-ho's legacy. One of their songs, Fly Me to the Moon, even uses Jae-ho's cover voice. Sungwon, the group's producer, has largely stepped away from the public eye following Wanted's unofficial disbandment in 2012, suggesting his retirement from the industry. The 3 vocalists have since pursued their own solo paths. The members are now in their 40s, most likely living normal lives. In more recent news, Jae-suk released a song in 2025 dedicated to his son. Now a father, his music video I See You captures his journey through hardship and toward finding a sense of purpose through his child. The video is deeply emotional, featuring unseen photos of his bandmates, particularly Jae-ho, which adds another layer of meaning. It's easy to forget stories like these in an industry built on glamour and perfection, but they matter deeply. If such an incident could unfold under one of Korea's biggest entertainment labels, YG, it raises unsettling questions about the rest of the industry and what happens behind closed doors. Even though some can say it was a long time ago, idol life has become even more grueling and demanding than ever before with how globalized it is. Remembering this history is our reminder and our responsibility to demand better, because corporate greed could never be greater than human life.